Here with head coach Hugh as we admit Ed Lane to the call as well. Here with head coach Hugh as we look back to the win over North Texas on this past Saturday. And Coach, we'll just go ahead and start with the opening statement for you on that, and then also looking ahead to UMass.
Yeah, just really pleased with the effort and fight that our team showed. I thought North Texas was what we thought they were watching film, a very dangerous team, and thought they played up to that for sure. And we're not playing our best football. That's somewhat frustrating to me, and I've got to me and the coaches have got to get us to play better at some things. But I'll tell you, I couldn't be more pleased with just the heart, the fight that our team continues to show, and to be bowl eligible for 3 straight seasons, I think is a remarkable feat for our team. And obviously, we've had a good record against the Group of 5 schools over those 3 years, and I just was pleased to come back bowl eligible, and this morning our team celebrated that, and as we look to hopefully move forward and play better football and continue to pick up a few more wins. So there were some positives. Defense gave up 7 trips to the red zone, so that's not great, but they only allowed 2 TDs in that red zone, so that was pretty solid. Got turnovers defensively. The second half response against the run was really nice. Negative was just we couldn't get off the field on 3rd down, and that was disappointing. We'll have to go back to work on that. We've been really good offensively. It was the 12 explosives were good, 0 turnovers, which we usually have a good chance to win when we take care of the ball. We had 3 TD drives over 90 yards, so that was positives. We're not protecting the quarterback right now, and we've got to figure out a way to do a better job with that. And I thought JB was solid. I mean, missed a couple of touchdown throws right before half, but he was solid in his play. And of course, Malik continued to do some things that just make you scratch your head. That is pretty phenomenal, and just love the way he wants to compete and fight. And so special teams, it was our worst punting performance in a long time, averaging only 29 yards. But had the 2 explosive returns, one by Shedro on a kickoff, and then obviously the touchdown by DeMario, and a lot of great blocks on that play. So some good things for sure, and but the main thing is our team just fought and found a way to play better for 60 minutes than the other team on the road, which is tough. It's been a tough stretch, and I think we're sore and tired, but we've got 2 more to go, and then we get us a break, and we've got to have a great week of practice to get better this week, and as we get to come back home, which is awesome, and play UMass. So a lot of things to improve on, but again, thrilled to be bowl eligible for the 3rd straight year.
We'll open up to questions. We'll start with Ed Lane from the Virginia Talk Radio Network.
What's the balance between protecting Malik Willis and maybe the correlation as well between sometimes he gets outside the pocket and creates fantastic plays, and other times he does plays that maybe just barely avert disaster or lead into turnovers?
Yeah, it's, people are going to, typically, D-lines are more athletic than most offensive linemen. And, if they know you're going to throw, they've got a good chance of winning in some one-on-ones. And so you're forced with either do you try to max protect to get him protected, but then you don't get as many guys out to defeat the coverage that you face, as opposed to getting everybody out and knowing you might get pressure. But with Malik, sometimes pressuring him is not the greatest idea. But the other night he took way too many hits in the pocket, and it was happening too fast. And so we've got to certainly we don't mind it when he scrambles a lot of times, as long as he continues to make good decisions when he does that. And he had a great throwaway the other night. That was a phenomenal athletic effort, and then a 20-yard shuffle pass, which I don't know if I've ever seen one quite that far before. So he is going to be him, but we've got to protect him better.
Let's go to Damien from the News in Advance.
Hugh, is the protection issues linked to the fact that you haven't been able to establish a traditional run game this year with any of the tailbacks?
I absolutely think they're correlated. I think in the games where you're truly are balanced, your pass protections are going to be better. And we weren't balanced the other night. It was just a weird game. I don't know. It just felt like we needed to throw to win it, and I do think we could have run the ball on them. I should have probably stuck with it. It was just kind of a weird, had a weird flow to me, and so we ran it well there at the end when we needed to. Other than them calling the penalty that we could have put the game away the drive before, but got the holding call on the third down conversion, and we were running it effectively on that drive. So, but they definitely are correlated. We've got to stay more balanced.
Let's go to John from the Sea of Red.
Speaking of Malik, what is his status? How's he responding to treatment so far early in the week since Saturday?
Yeah, I think good. He was, I asked him this morning and yesterday, but I asked him this morning how he felt. He said, I'm good. So we'll see how the week goes with his treatment and stuff, but I think he's feeling pretty good today.
Next up, let's go to Howard from the newspaper in Amherst.
Hey, Hugh, what do you see when you watch tape of UMass, and how different are they than the team you faced last year? Because last year they were kind of in and out of games. This year they played a full schedule.
Yeah, I mean they're same offensively. Walt's done a great job offensively. In his career, he knows what he's doing on offense, so it's not any different there. Defensively, it's kind of hard to figure. They've been. It's like they want to be 3 down, but then you turn on the tape and there's some games where they are almost exclusively all 4 down. So it's not quite sure. That's a little different than years past. So I haven't watched a ton yet. I'll dig in this afternoon, but certainly they're very similar to what they've been in the past offensively, and then defensively they're a little different.
Let's go back to Damien.
I want to ask you a couple questions. First, when Quentin Reese went down, you said you really hoped you stayed healthy there at the free safety position, and we saw Cedric Stone didn't play in the second half. Jalen Jimerson looked really banged up on a tackle he made. How are those two doing, and is the depth starting to be a concern there at free safety? Yes,
depth is a concern for us. Both, are Jalen he has a shoulder, and Ced has he was really just struggling with like body cramps, and so I think he'll be fine. Not sure on Jalen.
I want to follow up. I noticed Trayshawn Clark took Aaron Pierre's place as captain. Is that something that you're going to move forward through the rest of the season?
Yeah, Trayshawn's very deserving of being a captain, and I probably should have had him out there the whole time with the others. The other 3 have done a good job too. AP's he's certainly from the time we came here till now has really couldn't be more pleased in his development. He's having some family issues that he's helping tend with, and we want to help him along with that also.
Next, let's go to John.
Coach, you've talked a lot about being bowl eligible and how that is your goal for the team each and every year as an independent, and here you are 3 years into your tenure here, 3 years into Liberty's tenure as being an FBS member, and you've achieved that bowl eligibility level. How much does that mean to this program? Because if you remember back to your opening press conference when you were hired, you talked about wanting to do something the program's never done and getting to a bowl game, and here you are 3 years in with 3 straight years being bowl eligible.
I think it's huge. I've been clear about that. I don't talk. I have very few spoken goals. I'm not a big goal setter. I think it's more about the process than it is some goal, because there's always. I'm big on dreams and going after your dreams, but as far as specific goals, it's just there's so many different circumstances that can affect the journey. So to me, it's all about the approach of the process. But one goal that I have said clearly that we have here is every year to compete, to be bowl eligible, and take our program to postseason play. I think that is really something that our fans should be excited about. And the day that programs start being not excited to be bowl eligible, I think is a sad day. And I think some of that is happening in college football at places, and I hate that. That's disappointing, man. It used to be, that's what kids really got excited for, and I think the kids still do a lot of the time, and hopefully we never lose that excitement here to be one of the teams that is eligible to play in postseason.
Damien?
I want to get back to the offensive line and the running game, and what have you noticed this year that's not allowed you guys to get consistent production from the tailbacks? I know J-Max had a couple games here where he gets 60, 70, 80 yards, but outside of that, it's been virtually Malik the entire time.
Yeah, I care more about, you probably look at the total number. I care more about the yard per average, and we've been pretty good, actually. Some of that skewed some with Malik's scrambling, so I recognize that. I think we just got to stay committed to it and get into the flow of the game a little better. But it's certainly when you have a kid like Malik, it's hard not to call plays that could end up being in his hand, whether it's a pass or whether it's a run. He's that special of a player. So, I think you've got to count him into that run game and look at the total picture of the rushing game. And that doesn't mean that we're not confident in our tailbacks, but when we have to run it is what I really want to look at. And we do need to improve. We've got to be more balanced for sure than we were last Saturday.
John?
There's no question I know you want to focus each week at hand, and that's what my question is about, but there's no question these last 3 games on the schedule, have big name teams and very good teams on the schedule, and then you got a UMass team this week who's been struggling the last couple of years. Will there be an extra message to the team this week about staying focused and staying in the moment and focusing on the task at hand?
I've already, we talked this morning in our class that I present on Mondays, and I planned this back in the summer, and our whole deal is this week is how do we want to finish, and that we're in the last quarter of the season, so how do we want to finish, and it starts this week, and so if we want to finish well, then what is that? How do you do that? And I went through a plan this week, whether you're talking about your spiritual life or your football life. I mean, how do you finish well? And hopefully they hear that loud and clear, and it comes across this week in the way we prepare and play.
Any others for Coach Freeze? Damien?
Hugh, going to special teams, I noticed you had Jason Stricker doing the kickoffs in the second half. Are you planning on moving with him for kickoffs, or do you want to go back to Alex?
I want whoever's going to do the best job. I'm not. People ask coaches all the time, "Are you partial?" And truthfully, the answer is yes. We're partial to people that are playing well. And ultimately, Tanner made that call, and I trust in Tanner, and he thought it was the right move at the time. And kudos to Stricker for coming in and doing a nice job. So we'll see moving forward how that goes.